Hello, welcome to the Snap UK. I'm here with Gary and Jim. We're in the doghouse.
Woo!
Griff's been traded to around the NFL.
No one wanted him. We've shook.
We've just dropped Paul.
Cut him. He's on a practice squad somewhere.
Yeah. So week 8, nice, well tied. We are almost halfway through the season. Some teams are. It's sort of that like if it normally like a few years ago, this would be halfway through the season.
It's gone quick, hasn't it?
Always does.
Yes,
doesn't
it does.
You know,
Be Christmas soon.
It's a pretty short season, isn't it? Really, compared to a lot of major sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16 games. Think about
17.
Yeah, 17 now. But yeah, it's still. It's a
half
very
a year.
physical sport, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's a shorter season. It's not baseball. It's not, it's not netball.
No.
A basketball, sorry.
Well,
It's not netball either, to be fair.
I mean, there's lots of sport it isn't, but
No, but you know what I mean? They have long seasons, don't they?
They do.
They play like hundreds of matches.
yeah, like isn't it in baseball they're like
165.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something crazy. So
and for a couple of guys, season is over. So Josh McDaniels, and whoever the GM's called,
Dave Ziegler.
say Dave Ziegler,
Made up name.
they're gone,
They're gone. Mark Davis.
fired.
Ruthless Mark Davis. As ruthless as his haircut.
I mean, it's as ruthless as the person that charges him for that haircut.
how many times did we didn't really mention it enough, did we, on our hot seat?
No,
I think we were so obsessed with Brandon Staley.
Well,
Josh
Brandon
McDaniels-
Staley's just felt really like the seats felt really hot.
And the
Whereas
Bears, even
McDaniels
as
was
well.
like, well,
Do you know what? I think
No
it's
one
because
cares as
I think,
well.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
think that's the
fucking
thing.
Raiders.
I think Staley, everyone's like so frustrated that he's got these pieces and they're not doing anything, and then like the Raiders, you've just expected to be shit.
the thing is, I sit there on a Sunday and I watch it and I try and pick my, my hot seat, my play of the week as I go to bed. And I was like, the hot seat is definitely McDaniels because, the teams you would expect. I sort of went to bed thinking on Sunday Riviera, and then Monday McDaniels, and you're like, yeah, no. Then Davis went and took the pleasure of firing him, so I couldn't be right.
Yeah. I don't think you can deny it's not the right decision. Maybe the timing could have been better. Maybe given to the end of the year, because realistically, even with where they are, what they're going to be doing for the rest of this year. But, in the 10 or 11 years since Mark Davis took over from his dad, Al Davis, it's just been a cacophony of bullshit, hasn't it? Like, you've gone from Hugh Jackson, Jack Del Rio, John Gruden.
Yeah.
Daniel's the only one that's done any good.
Bisaccia.
Yeah.
You decided not to give him the job. And look, there's also the GM side of things as well. They've never had a GM. It's an org. I was thinking today about content coming up for the podcast. It's like we do rankings of the best quarterbacks. We do power rankings of the best teams. We should do a power ranking of the franchise, the organisation.
Yeah.
Which organisations are the best ones that you want to be coaching or playing for? Because I'm pretty sure the Raiders would be in the bottom 5.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I think the thing is they built that stadium, which looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks a bit like a toilet bowl.
Yeah, the facilities look amazing, and it's in Vegas. They moved it from Oakland, all that different hype and everything, and they've put nothing on the field. They've tried all sorts of things. They've tried tanking and then using God knows how many first-round picks to build a brand new team.
Yeah.
From the defence, and they fucked that up. Yeah, and then they tried going out and getting some proven stars like Devontae Adams. They've fucked that up as well.
Just seems
honestly,
everything they do is just the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, they never go full hog. No. Like they never. Even when they were accumulating draft picks, they did it at a time where they didn't have a GM, and it was wasn't it a guy from ESPN picking that? Mike Mayock.
Yeah.
He was the GM with Gruden, and McDaniels is so bad he's made Gruden look competent.
Which is saying
We know that they're all not like, Carl Nassib was like the best of the bunch.
yeah,
And he was average.
And you look at some of the draft pick. I mean, there's the whole Henry Ruggs thing.
Yeah.
There's tackles that have been shocking. Cleveland Farrell is not on the team anymore. He was a number 3 or 4 overall pick.
He's looking half decent.
looking all right, the 49ers.
But
Like I said, but everything they do is just bad. Like every decision Mark Davis makes for this organisation is the wrong decision. So, and look, he's the owner, so no one's going to fire him. But someone's got to sit him down and go, "You're not very good at this, Mark.
Yeah.
Find someone to do it for you. Sit back, enjoy the football, and have someone in charge of like football operations because you can't do it.
Yeah.
You are shit at it.
Yeah. So 18 months he's been in charge. 2 years of almost. So he came in. They gave a new deal to Derek Carr, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow. Since then, they cut Carr. They traded Waller for nothing. Renfrow got a big deal, or a bigger deal.
And I've never heard of him since.
Yeah. He was apparently on the trade block as well. So
and then they wouldn't pay Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, and Josh McDaniels, like, he's done now. He's had his chances, isn't he? He's never going to coach again.
Yeah.
Like he'll go and be a quarterback's coach or maybe a coordinator. But again, it's that we called it, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, the Belichick coaching tree. They're just
terrible.
It's just not worked out, is it?
I think the other thing with McDaniels is he? We always say, like, is someone a good head coach or are they just a good coordinator? Are they a flip between the two? I don't even know if Josh McDaniels is a good coordinator or we just had Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we can't be too harsh because he has 6 rings, which is twice as much as the Raiders have in their history.
Completely agree.
So does the cleaner.
But look how good Belichick's been since Brady
Exactly,
left.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like you can't just, it's an organisation in it, but it comes down to the players at the end of the day, doesn't it?
I don't know. Like, they've got good players. They've had good players. They've had players that have done well elsewhere, and they've had players that have gone on and done well after they've left the Raiders as well. It's just the whole organisation thing.
Did you say Carl Nassib?
Yeah,
he got a Super Bowl ring at the Bucks. Like, it's just awful.
all the way back to like Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
signing him. What a disaster that was as well.
Yeah. Well, look who they've got under centre now. Like, they had Derek Carr, and for some reason, 2 head coaches haven't fancied him. And I don't, because he's at the Saints now, and he's fine. He's
always been fine.
And but you bring in
Jimmy
Garoppolo, who failed a physical,
yeah,
and you still signed him.
And then he got injured, and he had to play Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, and apparently that was the thing that broke the camel's back. It was this decision to play Hoyer,
right,
rather than O'Connell last week. And of course this week they went back to Jimmy G, he just looks fucked. Like I think he's got back issues. He's
a foot issue.
Yeah, like and the thing
they've paid him some okay money as well.
Yeah, the one
it's $70 million for 3 years, but then get out of it.
It's the get out after a year. Yeah, I think that's the one sensible thing they might have done is the fact that they could get out of it after a year. There were opportunities to, get a quarterback last year in the draft. They could have traded up like other teams did. Or they could have drafted Will Levis, who's just come off a magnificent game. But again, like, you don't know what the direction is with that team ever. No matter how many changes they've made, you look at it and go, what are you doing? Because you're right. Replacing Derek Carr with Jimmy G is like for like, except Jimmy G isn't reliable in terms of fitness.
Yeah.
So it's a step backwards.
It's a more handsome but more physically wrecked version of the same player.
Yeah. Anyway, he's benched this weekend.
He is. Aidan O'Connell starts because we all like going into an absolute bin fire. Although Devontae Adams. I mean,
they've forced him to stay. He doesn't want to be there. The whole thing is just toxic, and we don't even like who's going to lead that for the rest of the season.
Well,
so apparently it's Antonio Pierce,
the linebacker coach.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So and they got rid of their offensive coordinator as well. Can't remember the guy's name. So they got rid of, and they got to pay all three of them still, and they're still paying Mike Mayock. I think they're still paying John Gruden as well, I expect. And
no, but I think that's gone to court because they fired because of misconduct.
Fair enough, whatever. But Mark Davis also well known for not exactly being the richest of all the 32 owners.
Yep.
Actually, the poorest. Like at some point, the guy just going, you know what? Broncos sold for what was it, 7-8 billion?
Yeah.
Sitting there on a franchise in the middle of Las Vegas, brand spanking new stadium. You could get 10 billion, surely. Fucking sell it and fuck off.
Oh, God, yeah.
Go and get a proper haircut.
Yeah, he will never do that. The problem is that franchise has had no history, has it, for, I don't know, what was it, the 80s, 70s?
Yeah, 70s, 80s, when Al Davis.
So you're talking 40 years since they've been relevant. Like,
I guess, they went to a Super Bowl, didn't they?
They're not going to go. They're not going to go for more than the Commanders. I don't think.
No, sorry.
I don't think they'll go for more than the Commanders.
Oh, they will, but only because they're in Vegas.
Yeah. It's going to be. It's not going to be.
You don't pay. You don't pay.
It won't be any less than $7 billion.
No,
what the Commanders went for.
No.
Yeah, billion here, billion there. At some point in time, it starts adding up.
I don't know. But basically, it's a fucking shit show. We get to laugh at Perry a little bit more, and it's all good fun, isn't it?
I would say I feel sorry for Raiders fans, but I know one of them. So
no. Anyway, he won't fucking shut up about it.
And as Niners, we're not gonna give him any sympathy.
We're just going to do the old point and laugh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So any early indications for who they can go for to replace McDaniel? Because
I gave you a list.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to be conversational.
I didn't like
because I saw the list, and the name that sprung out to me was Jim Harbaugh.
I thought it would,
because he's in a bit of trouble at the moment, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He's currently suspended,
facing charges of cheating,
spying,
another Spygate, type.
There is talk though that if he is banned in college football, the NFL will also roll that ban. They won't officially roll it as a ban. Apparently, it's happened once before.
He also started his coaching career at the Raiders, so he's got Raiders blood in him.
But yeah,
that explains the cheating.
Apparently, that has happened before. Would you believe I've just had a message from our Raiders fan who's just said, what are the odds that the Raiders and United could sack both their managers in the same week? Because Newcastle are currently beating Man United 2-0. So he's obviously having a terrible few days, which is brilliant.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, at some point, do we just blame Steve?
Yeah. He makes bad life choices.
He does.
As does his sister.
I think I looked at the Athletic released 10 potential candidates for the Vegas job, and I think these 10 names are probably going to be linked to every coaching job come the off season. You don't invite it yourself, but top of the list, I think Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions.
Yeah,
I think he's a shoo-in for a job at the end of the season.
I hope. He's been so fun. The Lions have been so fun to watch, with him in control. I hope he goes to a good team.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't go to the Raiders.
So basically, I don't want him to be raided. The others, there was some really good.
Flores, no chance. He's done.
He's having a really good.
I know, but
what has he done?
I think I've
done nothing wrong, but too much stigma.
I don't think you sue the
Eric Bieniemy's waiting for Riverboat Ron to fuck off, isn't he?
I think do you
not think?
Yeah, potentially. I was going to chat about them later, but
yeah,
the new owners have obviously got a plan. It's whether he fits in it.
Is he a sexy enough name?
Probably not.
No. And we have to assume that Bieniemy is one of the worst interviewers ever, because he never gets
the job.
He must literally walk in and just be like, so give me the job, I'll go fuck yourselves, guys.
Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. He's one that's been rumoured for jobs the last couple of seasons. He's stayed in Dallas because apparently he hates life.
Yeah. Well, he likes winning in everywhere but January.
Do you know what? I think some of them that that go out and try it, and aren't that successful are quite happy to go back and be coordinators.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think there's the pressure is obviously much different.
Yeah.
The hours will be long, etc., etc. But I still think that actually some of them go out and they do it and they just go, it's not fucking worth it.
You see, my issue with this list that the Athletic released is that all of these are pretty decent name, pretty sensible. You can make an argument for all of them, which is exactly why the Raiders won't do any of it. They'll go and find a college coach.
What's Urban Meyer doing?
Yeah. That's not a bad shout. Urban Meyer, Lincoln Riley.
I've just looked it up.
Gary's looking at me stunned as if
Like
that's...
someone actually brought that name up.
Who?
Would you put it past them?
No.
No, I wouldn't. But
Right then.
be mad.
Yeah.
I just looked it up, actually. So Dan Quinn earns $4.5 million a year.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy, he when he signed his contract, it was $4 to $7 million a year. So Dan Quinn earns just as much as the Cowboys head coach for half the responsibility.
Do you need the hassle?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Do you need it? Like, would you rather everyone says, oh, he's not a head coach, or etc., or God, he was one of the best defensive minds the league had in 20 years? Like,
Do you build like a resume like Wade Phillips?
Yeah.
Defensive master.
Exactly, yeah.
The only guys earning big money are the storied.
Shanahan.
No. So Belichick earns $20 million a year. Carroll, 15. McVay, 14. They're all guys who've been there for 10, 20 years.
Not from McVay.
Not from, but like McVay's,
That's why I thought Shanahan would be up there as well, to be fair.
not won anything yet, is he? But,
No, I suppose not.
True. But
Yeah, I suppose Peyton must be on some as well.
I imagine so, but yeah. I don't think it's, for a lot of these guys, it won't be worth the hassle.
No, I wouldn't want it.
Nah.
Okay.
But yeah. Should we move on to the trades?
Yeah.
I like this. We're just ignoring the fact that any football was played.
We're
last
gonna-
weekend.
This is more interesting. This is more interesting to chat about.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
So, big news. Of course, Washington traded away Montez
everything.
Sweat.
No, they traded away everything. What the fuck is wrong with them?
No, they've got 4 good defensive linemen. They still have 2.
Paid 2 of them.
They paid 2. They've got rid of the other 2. The day started. It was either going to be Young or Sweat who went.
Yeah, that's what everyone thought. Wasn't it? One of the two.
Yeah.
And I think they wanted Young out. I think they felt there was more chance potentially of keeping Sweat. His numbers are higher, I guess, this year, but
And his injuries are not as
injuries
bad.
are low.
Fitness
No.
thing, yeah.
And
Is
but
better.
they got a second round pick for him, and they get a third round pick, a compensatory third round pick for Chase Young. So
Talk about it from the Washington point of view first.
Yeah.
I get what they're doing.
I get what they're doing. Yeah,
New owners have come in. All right, Sam Howell's had a decent year, but I think we can all say that franchise is probably not going to go to the playoffs. It's definitely not going to win a Super Bowl.
no,
Don't care what Griff might say about it. It could be a contender because it's not mathematically impossible. Well, bullshit, Griff. I can say right now the Washington Commanders are not contenders for the Super Bowl.
no.
You're not here to argue.
No.
We mentioned it before. Rivera will probably be out of a job. He built his resume on defense, on the defensive line, coaching those defensive line, and now that all that investment in that defensive line is now being pulled apart. So for Washington, makes sense. They've got a second round pick,
And he has been saying this season that last season, to talk about the defensive line, he says it's not as consistent as it should be.
Yeah.
It need, I mean, do you see Jonathan Allen after the Giants game where he was furious? And I just basically it's been the same for years.
For years and
years.
Losing.
Just keep so I'm sure he's happy as anything right now, seeing 2 of his mates gone.
We said it probably not last year before, where we did a program about the Commanders. Just the whole franchise need a reset. They've got new ownership. Whether it be enemy that takes over as head coach, I don't know. see what happens. But yeah, fine. Get some draft capital. Go and rebuild the whole fucking team.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
It looks a bit stale, doesn't it?
It's
It's a shame because last year they had some green shoots actually, and then the defense looked like it should have been really
it
good.
should have been good.
And then offense should be okay as well.
I actually think the
Scary
offense-
Terry, Logan Thomas.
I think Sam Howell's actually playing pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, so like they should be competitive in that division,
Yeah.
and they're just not as competitive as they should
They've
be.
taken the Eagles to, they gave the Eagles
Two
two
very
good
close games.
So they've got the potential there, but yeah, obviously they've taken that decision. So I get it from their point of view.
Yeah. And as well, if you get a Browns second round pick,
Yeah.
that's 34, 35.
Well, that's the thing I don't get from the Bears' point of view. Because they're not in a win now situation. Again, pretty sure the Bears aren't going to win the Super Bowl this year.
No. I can. At first, I thought, why are they doing that? And then I thought, actually, I think it makes sense because if he's in your building, you get first dibs at getting him on contract. It's very rare a defensive end like this comes up on the free market.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So you have him in your building. You control that. I think they've decided that's the sort of player they want. Great.
My one counter to that would be, and I agree with you, but I would say, if that's the case, they should have had him locked up to a contract already.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, he's now got all the
The
power
power's him.
is with him. So he knows they've given up a second-round pick, especially after last year where they gave up a second-round pick on Claypool. The Bears don't want this to be another Claypool situation.
It can't be.
So Montez Sweat is sitting there going, his agent is sitting there going, all right, show me the money.
Yeah.
Look, I think they've got a lot of cap space.
They do, yeah.
So I think he'll get paid.
He will.
I don't think it's even a.
But the longer the wait, the more that will go
I
up.
think it'll happen pretty quickly.
Hopefully it will for this.
I would have thought they'll sign him to a long-term contract pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They've had very little on defense, haven't they? They probably said to him, "You're going to be our main man. We're going to draft some talent to come around you. We've got Justin Fields. We've got this. We've got that."
Now they've got Justin Field.
Well, yeah, but they've got options, haven't
a
they?
defensive head coach as well. So,
Yeah, but how long is he going to be there?
well,
Anyway,
you've got to sell it on what
I
you've got
get
now.
it for the sake of the fact that you're saying for a second-round pick, instead of it being a lottery in the draft, you're getting a guarantee.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fine with it.
But it looks expensive at the moment until they.
Tie up for contract, and then I'm all bought into it.
Yeah. So what about the other bloke? So he's gone for a compensatory third-round pick to the 49ers.
Yep.
So he adds to that defensive line of Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead, Gregory, or
London,
Chase Young now, or
Drake
Clellan Farrell,
Yeah.
like
With Warner behind them.
with Water behind them.
Greenlaw as well.
Although the thing I really wanted you guys to,
Certain.
I wanted you to get a cornerback.
Yeah. Well, apparently we did. But then the Giants didn't notify the league.
Yeah,
Have you not seen that?
no,
Did you go for Dory Jackson?
Yes. Apparently we were supposed to be getting a Dory Jackson, but you didn't notify the league in time, the Giants. So the trade didn't go through. That's what was all over Twitter today.
no, I'm fine with that.
We do need him. We always need it. Everyone needs help at cornerback. It's not easy, is it?
We need a cornerback, I agree. But if you can't improve the cornerback situation, what do? You take away the time, and the opposing quarterback has to throw the ball.
Yep.
And that's what
Well, we've had the most pressures in the league, but not enough sacks.
Not getting sacked. And I'm watching them on Sunday, sitting there going,
I thought
make
looked
the tackle,
looked
make
too
the tackle,
easy, didn't
make
it?
the tackle. Joe Burrow is not an escape artist. But there were a few instances where both he and other Bengals players seemed to just slip through tackles.
Yeah. I like the one where he sort of hid behind.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Bosa had him, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
It was like so.
But yeah,
I think
third round pick for him is. I mean, even if he goes there and it's just this season,
we get our third round pick back anyway.
yeah, we'll get the third round pick back from another compensatory situation, and we only have to pay $500,000 for him for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
So, it's
another
it's a nice
genius
trial.
move.
Well, they basically said to him, "Look, yeah, come, we'll try and win a Super Bowl together,
Yeah.
and then we'll see what we can do for you." You know, that's it, isn't it? You know, happy days. So
Even if you just put on a franchise tag for another year, if you really
Yeah.
feel that, if
Yeah.
you want them, because we've got a load of cap space somehow going into next year.
yeah,
But
but we haven't got a quarterback. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
yeah.
But the thought of him and Nick Bosa on the same defensive line,
Well, how do you can't double team both of them?
No.
and then you got Hargrave and Armstead. in the
Or
middle,
Hargrave,
like,
and so if
If they can get it,
they can get Young go, he's been once
he's
again.
had 5 sacks already this
Yeah.
year.
What they don't have to do, they don't have to play him on every single snap.
No.
You've
Yeah.
got Randy
Yeah.
Gregory and a few others. So you and the same with Bosa, actually. You can keep them fresher. It's what the Eagles did last year. That continual rotation of defensive linemen just meant that they all got sacks and they all got pressures. And
He's a very good GM, John Lynch.
I have to say, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
That's a very clever move.
Shrewd.
And I don't know how that happens, and the rest of the league aren't just going, oh,
Yeah, we could have
that's,
done that.
that's all it
what?
costs. Yeah.
You got him for what?
Nothing.
Literally.
it's literally a fucking
Well, it's
fact, yeah.
it's a no lose, is it?
Yeah. No,
Like, what there's nothing we can lose.
No, exactly.
Like, if he leaves, we get our money back.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently there are rumours he's awkward in the changing rooms. But
But the thing is,
if he is,
but he's going to go.
he's got no.
Well, he's going to go to a franchise where he kind of can't afford to be
Yeah.
like that. Like, if you want game time, you knuckle down
Yeah.
because we're here to do a job and we've got
Buck up
experience.
and fly right.
Yeah, exactly. We've got experience getting there. Follow this recipe and you can come along.
So Young is 5th in the NFL with 40 quarterback pressures so far this season.
I know
And he
he's
sits
4th.
one place below his new teammate Nick Bosa at 41.
Yeah.
That's 81 quarterback pressures just between the two of them. Sounds all right to me for 500 grand. I'm all right with it.
I'm good with it.
I mean, yeah.
I reckon they might be able to afford him as well with Brock Purdy.
Oh yeah.
If they stick with Brock Purdy, they probably can afford him.
Yeah. They can give him a cheap 1-2 year deal.
Yeah.
If he wants to. It's like, stay here for another year, earn yourself some more money in a couple of years, and you've got a good chance of getting a Super Bowl ring. Or hopefully another Super Bowl ring.
So staying in the division, but slightly more expensive. Leonard Williams joins the Seahawks to bolster that defensive line. Another good
signing. Yeah.
Another good
signing.
And once again, like, it's good for Seattle, but it's also the Giants got some decent value for him. A player who I predicted wouldn't make the season. I thought cap pressures would mean we'd have to get rid of him.
Yeah, you thought he was going to be gone, didn't you, in the
Yeah.
off season?
But really good player. The Seattle Seahawks have a almost like a sneaky good defense. Like,
It's getting better.
It's getting better. Like, they have some really big playmakers there. So
They've got Frank Clark there now as well, haven't they?
Yep.
Only recently as well, in the last couple of weeks.
Last week or so he signed.
So
yeah.
they've made some big moves. Like that. They're now competitive against the Niners, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
are in the NFC. They are probably in the top 5 teams now. Probably maybe more.
And if they wore a proper outfit like they did this week, they might get a little
so
bit less
good.
It
hatred.
looks so much better.
Yeah, that fucking neon green shit just needs to fuck
yeah,
off.
Yeah, they're so good this week. I loved how they just went for it as well. Like, on Twitter they had the pack they gave there to the journalists, which was appropriately aged.
Retro,
it was so good. Like, literally do that.
Field markings, even the coaching staff with their hoodies as well. It just looked, I don't know, it looks so
It's,
I always think the retro games look so much
Yeah.
better.
the
I
retro
agree.
one, apart from the Steelers and the
Bucks.
Packers.
I really like the Steelers retro kit,
really?
the Bumblebee kit.
I'm
Yeah,
I
not
like
a
the
big-
Bumblebee kit.
I don't like the Packers
I
one.
don't like the Buccaneers popsicle orange thing.
Oh, I don't mind that.
No, I think that looks terrible.
Yeah, there's not many I don't
Creamsicle.
like. Most of
Creamsicle, that's it.
them, I think, are pretty good.
Yeah,
I
like
love
this
the,
year,
I love the Eagles Kelly Greens.
the Eagles Kelly Greens.
That was top notch.
I don't agree with it, but the Oilers
That was a
throwback.
lovely kit. That
It
was.
The Giants as well.
Giants was really good.
The dark blue helmets again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been really some really good stuff.
So
But
why do we have to put up with the normal shit?
exactly, it makes you do like why is it so good and
Yeah.
the normal stuff so boring?
Why Nike
or
making
bad?
such shit uniforms?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's go back to Champion.
Yeah, the throwback
Wilson.
ones are just better, aren't they?
Yeah,
Reebok ones as well.
Reebok.
yeah, Reebok one. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, we sound like old miserable
We do.
kids.
I
don't
know, but they're all just a bit plasticky and a bit dull, aren't they?
It's
The thing
so
is, Nike make really good kits for the Oregon Ducks. Like, really
Yeah,
cool.
some of the college ones
some
are
of the
lovely.
college ones are
The
amazing.
Michigan ones are really
Yeah.
nice. So they're
Yeah.
really dark blue with the
Yeah.
yellow, really nice. You know,
Because they haven't got as many restrictions in the college game as they do
yeah.
in the NFL, and it's like, but their kits are so much better.
Yeah, I got really nerdy the other week, and I was listening to a bloke talking about designing kits for the Premier League because he designed the Leeds kit on the assumption that they'd be in the Premier League, and they weren't. But yeah, and he wanted to have because the theme for this year was peacocks, but you aren't allowed to have on your kit anything that resembles, and the terming here is a thing.
A thing.
A thing. So, if you wanted, if Newcastle, for instance, wanted to have, a magpie,
Right.
you can't have a magpie on the kit because a magpie is a thing and people get offended by things. So, they've had, it's like, so our thing is peacocks this year, and they've had to design stuff that is sort of resembles of a peacock, but isn't a peacock because a peacock is a thing, and people get offended by things, even if the things are birds, and
Do you know what? I mean, it's a sad state of
it's-
affairs.
it's how corporate-
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because you know someone's going to come out and say, well, I got raped by a peacock.
yeah.
raped by a peacock.
Oh, there will be.
Peacock killed my dad.
Yeah, there'll be something like that. And
Well, Dad did used to hate that peacock.
I used to have a family of peacocks in my garden.
Yeah.
of course you did.
It's not as posh as it sounds.
No.
They escaped.
Honestly, his dad used to hate these
I used
peacocks.
to sleep outside my window, and at 5 a.m, all you'd hear is ah! And I
Such as your brother going to the toilet, though.
no, literally, it was me going mad through my sort of sixth form years because I never slept. It wouldn't let me, but it wouldn't fuck off. And there was only one to start with, and then one day we went out in the back garden. There were 2 of them, which of course meant a couple of months later there were 3 and 4 of them. I didn't have a big house. I could afford to keep 4 peacocks. Anyway, Result Douglas has gone to the Bills. He's left the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, dear.
Some quarterback help for the Bills.
Great
Who-
signing for the Bills.
Good, yeah, really good.
Cornerback, they can play in cold weather, and that's what they need. Tredavious
Exactly.
White, injured.
Did you see someone found the footage of Josh Allen telling him that he sucked last time they played? Water in the bridge. Elsewhere, DPJ, Donovan's Peoples-Jones, has gone to the Lions.
And no one cares.
It's just depth, isn't it?
It is.
you get
but
a
they've
You
lost-
like him, didn't you?
I like DPJ. I like the Lions.
He was at
What-
Michigan as well.
Yeah.
College-wise.
And so Marvin Jones has stepped away
Yeah.
for a while from football. And also, I think it means they have less trust in Jameson Williams, their first-round receiver, because he's not done much.
Scored 2 touchdowns.
He scored 2 touchdowns, but
But apart from that,
it's very, very light.
it's fair.
In between his injury, they signed him injured, but his injury and his betting ban,
It's not great, is it?
It's not been a great start.
It's feeling a little bit like a Kevin White.
Yeah, really does. But I hope he comes good because there's such a talented player in there.
Yeah.
And Minnesota. So we'll start talking about the game here because Minnesota have got Josh Dobbs because they've lost Kirk Cousins to an Achilles injury.
Yep.
And it's such the Vikings have just started to look really good, and Kirk's now gone down. Jefferson's already injured. They don't have running back help. They brought in Jared Allen. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Something Allen, who threw a nasty pick and looked a bit lost. He is a fifth round pick. You know, he's a complete nobody. But so they brought in Josh Dobbs to
just hold the fort.
Basically,
He's been okay though.
Jaron Hall, by the way.
Jaron Hall.
Although I think it's a bit surprising that the Cardinals.
I don't. That's
like-
what surprised me.
Well, that means they're going to play Kyler.
Yeah.
They've said that Clayton Tune is going to start this week.
That means they're going to play Kyler at some point.
At some
Well,
point.
Kyler's going to come back at some
Kyler's
point.
coming
Yeah.
back, yeah.
They aren't as bad as people thought they were going to be. Maybe that's the thing. Like they
Right.
aren't in a tanking position.
Well, the results and the records aren't great,
No.
but the Cardinals are playing all right.
Yeah.
Like, as a team, they're playing better than what I expected them to be. But yeah, I can't find it myself to say that I think Kyler Murray is going to be better than Josh Dobbs.
It's really strange to say that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think it means that Kirk is more likely to be at the Vikings next year? Because I have a feeling it might.
I have a feeling it might. Because I've been on the Kirk is
He's gone,
out of Minnesota. I think it might help him.
Because his value will be less in the open
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
So he might take a prove it deal.
Yeah. I don't think we'll get
Not
a
for a
prove it
long,
deal.
but that's what I'm saying. He might get like a 2-year deal or something, that actually isn't much more than he was on, or I don't know. I just wonder. A lot of good noises coming out about how important he is to the club as well, isn't it? So,
and like it's an Achilles one, but it's not like he's a Justin Fields or even like a scamperer, Steve Young type. He's
just how he comes back and
how he comes back. Yeah. I hope he doesn't. He's not like, I guess, in the Rodgers position who's trying so desperately to get back.
Yeah.
Because he's got an ego to feed.
I think the Vikings have done well. Like, I think that's a good deal. It didn't cost them much.
7th round.
See what happens in the season. It's all
free
very
pick.
much up in the air now, isn't it? So,
I mean, they just toss away day 3 picks on the day, don't they? It's just,
yeah, exactly.
So it means nothing. Because your first thought is, do they go and get like a Tannehill or a
I think
Wentz?
Dobbs is better than
And I think
Wentz
Dobbs,
or Matt Ryan could have been shouts.
Yeah, but it's Dobbs' like 3rd, 4th team
7th
in a year.
Oh.
It is in the year because he
Yeah.
was traded to the Titans.
Started off the Browns.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he was traded to the Titans last year to replace Tannehill at the end.
Yeah.
Because Malik Willis is shit. Did an all right job. He went to the Browns, was then traded to the Cardinals just before the start of the season. He's done all right there. Now he's at the Vikings. Like he's like the new Brissett. Like you want someone to come in with no prep and do an all right job. You're bringing just Dobbs.
He is genuinely a rocket scientist
Yeah.
as well. So he's got a bit of intelligence up there, and he
Yeah.
can pick up a play. I think he proved actually in Arizona and Tennessee he can pick up a playbook quickly and be more than serviceable. So yeah, give him a week. All right, we will see him next week.
Yeah.
Week 10, leading the Vikings. And look, he's got some weapons there. Jordan Addison had a good game.
Yeah. Hawkinson's still there.
Hawkinson's still there.
And at some point Jefferson will be
Jefferson's
back.
going to be back. Right?
Yeah.
Yep. And you got Madison.
Yeah.
Madison for you fantasy owners might be worth playing this week because there's going to be nothing else.
They've got Cam Akers as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the defense is playing better. So
The defense is really good, actually, compared to the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Flores has got them really going.
They did just trade away one of their O-linemen, though, didn't they, as well,
Yeah.
to the Jags. Ezra Cleveland just went to the Jags.
Yeah, good half decent thing. But yeah,
it'll weaken that offensive line a little bit, but, Dobbs is more mobile than Kirk.
exactly.
Certainly right now.
Yeah. We'll take a break and then we'll come back and we'll talk the actual games. And welcome back. So, story of the weekend has to be, I guess, Will Levis and his phenomenal debut.
Honestly,
4
it was
touchdowns,
amazing.
and they just let him
Throw the ball.
play. Like everyone, things broke down. They were like, he had the confidence to think, "Now, fuck it, I'm going to chuck it 60 yards to, admittedly, one of the best receivers in football."
Look, that helps, but he's a rookie quarterback. But the way he threw the ball,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like no backlift, bang, gone,
Yeah.
60 yards. You're like, whoa,
The ball came out really smooth, didn't
really
it?
beautiful. And he went down to the second round. Most people in mock drafts had him in the first round, dropped to the second round mainly because he had a pretty poor season at Kentucky his last season. But that was because he had such a bad cast around him that what more could he do?
Paul was very big on Levi's. And
Did he think he was a bit of a wrangler in his college days?
Beautiful.
Nice. But yeah, no, Paul, he was big on him, so he'll be pleased. But yeah, because we've talked about trades already, we didn't mention that the Titans didn't trade away Derrick Henry or DeAndre Hopkins as people predicted, because has he sort of turned around their season?
I think he's given them hope.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you're not just relying. I mean, Tannehill goes out injured. You've got a choice there between, all right, Malik Willis. Kind of know what we've got with Malik Willis, and it's not a lot.
Yeah, it's a fumble.
Yeah.
And,
Or do we give it to Will Levis? I will pronounce it Levis. See what we've got.
yeah.
I think you know what? Maybe if they had played at the weekend and he'd thrown 4 interceptions rather than 4 touchdowns, maybe then there would have been a bit of a different approach come the trade deadline. But now they're looking and going, all right, we might have someone who can play here. We've certainly got a wide receiver who has made bad quarterbacks look good. We might have a good quarterback, so he might be good. And we've got a running back who can still tear it up. Even after all the antics of Levis, Derrick Henry still got 101 yards. Still average of 4.6 yards a carry. He can still get it done.
And it was against the Falcons, who this year have been a good defense. I mean, they're an appalling offensive team to watch.
Yeah, and they've finally taken the right decision to drop Desmond Ridder.
He was injured, wasn't he?
He was injured, but they are dropping. Heineke plays this weekend.
Right,
so
he went out initially because he was injured.
Yeah,
his ego took a bit of a denting.
Just bruised talent.
Yeah, and I think Derrick Henry, we talk about you have to establish the run game to be able to get the play action in the pass game. It's the same the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't pass the ball, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, all of a sudden, DeAndre Hopkins is getting 4 touchdowns. Like, they can't just set up for Derrick Henry to run at them, and he's going to get space, isn't he? Because they're having to put, more pieces into the backfield. So, all of a sudden, there's space, isn't there? Derrick Henry's not, since the injury, he's not as explosive as he was 2 years ago. He's just not.
That injury's also coincided with Tannehill form.
Exactly,
dropping. So, to your point,
it's always balance.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's. We'll see what happens this weekend. We'll see if it's just a one-off. People, teams, defensive coordinators are going to learn more about him.
But so's DeAndre Hopkins. If he trusts him,
exactly.
Yeah. Hopkins has some all right games, but this was reminded you of the
DeAndre
Texans.
Hopkins,
yeah. It was fun to watch.
Broke a lot of fantasy players' hearts.
Really did.
Seeing DeAndre Hopkins on their bench and thinking about what could have been this weekend. John.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
Like you said.
Because when they said they were going to play Willis or Levi's. I thought that just meant they were going to play Willis, and sort of Levi's would come in as like a Taysom Hill, or third down.
But even if they would have started Will Levis and come out and said it, I probably still would have left Hopkins on the bench.
You just don't know what you're going to get.
Don't know. But yeah, it's weird to be positive about the Titans because they've been such a basket case for the last year. So basically, they started off last season all right and then just tailed off. So, we'll see. Elsewhere, any games that you
Carolina got their first win.
Yes.
Yeah, which none of us picked last week, did we?
Nope. We all went with Texans.
I would have picked the Texans. I'd have been there as well. I think that would have been a fair shout because the Texans are playing well. Carolina aren't.
They only just snuck the win as well.
Yeah, exactly. It was the last kick of the game, and Texans managed to commit 2 or 3 penalties to get it moved 2 or 3 times closer.
Oh yeah, like the refs were getting pissed, weren't they? They're like, guys, come on,
come on.
you know, like. And I think they were going to eject him next, weren't they?
Yes.
The same player did it twice in a row.
Yeah,
They did him for unsportsmanlike conduct, didn't they? For doing it on purpose.
I don't think you can read too much. I still don't think the Panthers are very good. I still think they're destined for a very high, well, not a very high pick because they haven't got their first round pick this year, have they? And I'm still not convinced by Bryce Young.
He was fine. He was fine. And I was happy that the Panthers won because you don't
want an 0-17 team, do you?
No. Oh, you do, but they need to be much hilariously worse than the Panthers.
Yeah.
You need to beat the Browns.
And you need to kind of hate them.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, and I don't hate the Panthers.
No.
I just don't. I'm nothing the Panthers. I mean, frankly. But yeah, and Phelan continues to have a sort of Indian summer. Another 72 yards and 8 catches. Doing fine.
He's just a big tight end, really, who doesn't run very far.
Yes.
So a young quarterback can find him.
He's lucky he doesn't run because if you are running in the Panthers team, that means you are awful because they could not run at all. But I think that says quite a lot about the Texans.
It was just a poor game. I think the Texans were poor, really. 15-13. That's a poor game, isn't it?
Yeah.
There were quite a few pretty shoddy games over this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, which you mentioned the shoddiest of them?
Yeah, go on. Mention the toilet bowl.
So, Jets, Giants, what was it?
13-10.
We got extra time.
Yeah, I was asking for no overtime.
Nobody wanted that. I mean,
well, Jim was saying he did. I was like, can we not have it? Like, just call it a draw and go home. It was that bad.
It was appalling.
It was a terrible game.
Absolutely
so bad.
One team who refused to throw versus another one who can't. There until right at the end.
And Tyrod injured.
Taken
to hospital.
Yes, I was still in hospital on Monday.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, like later in the week, it's the guy just his only luck is bad. Yeah. He's still suing the Chargers.
Someone DeVito comes in, two passes out of 7. I think they just didn't let him pass to start off with, right? They just it's just run. So two completions minus 1 yard.
Yeah.
When he did throw, he was throwing behind the line.
Like I say, I'm sure the stat was that it was the lowest total number of passing yards of any team all time to go to overtime.
And despite that,
7 yards.
The Giants probably should have. Well, they should have won.
They should have won it.
They missed a kick at the end, didn't they?
Gano has had
it's straightforward.
He's missed a couple.
He's got an injury issue at the moment. I'm amazed.
Oh, that's right. He did have an injury issue. Was it his back or something?
Yeah, and I think a foot issue as well.
Right.
The fact that he's still on the team and not been sent for surgery is.
But it's such a fall from grace, because everyone was all Dayball crazy. Like you were on about shaving your hair off last year, going full Dayball
last year.
We were great last year.
Yeah.
Dayball just was competent. This if this was Joe Judge, that would be a fireable performance because Dayball's got credit in the bank, and as well like Tommy DeVito, I don't think we'll ever darken our doors again. But
he might do. You haven't got anything else, have you?
Daniel Jones might be back this year.
Daniel Jones might be back. Woo!
The woo is a fair point.
Well, at least he can rush it, But like just like that, Well, I know we didn't pass it. Barkley was still getting 4 yards to carry.
Yeah,
128 yards.
36 times. 36 times he carried it.
I mean, that's not something I'd be wanting to do with someone with his injury history. Exactly. But they did. The thing is as well.
But you're 2-6.
Well, why is the story is not us?
Yeah, I was going to say
the story is the Jets.
Jets
are
4-3.
shit. They are 4-3 and shit.
Yeah, but nobody here supports the Jets, and that's not fun. Whereas I can just
Well,
rib you a little bit,
well-
and that's much more fun. You're 2-6.
The Jets are one.
But
game
I don't
behind-
care.
Yeah, the Jets are one game behind the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's actually incredible.
they're coached well, and they have got a good defense. Are they conceding loads of points? Not
No.
just against
No.
you. I'm not saying like you're the Giants. You're shit this year, and they conceded 10 points. That's not what I'm saying. But they've not. Their defense has been good all year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story is that you had to get extra time to beat a team without a quarterback.
Yeah, but they've almost, they've only got half a quarterback with Zach Wilson.
But that's the story, and they've still got 4 wins.
Yeah,
Still managed to win.
They did not pick up anybody in the trade deadline, despite the fact that they have a revolving door at O-line. Dexter Lawrence was the highest rated player on PFF rankings this weekend because he just ate. He had the best weekend of his, apart from up until about 2 minutes to go. Kayvon Thibodeau had a great game.
he did. Yeah, and then he fucked it.
Then he fucked up, offside, and
Big
cost
penalty,
us.
wasn't it?
Big
It was a
penalty.
really big penalty.
That sort of started the
Still a 3
decline.
sacks in a game.
Still, yeah, but like
Dexter Lawrence
I think he got a bit
had
overexcited, didn't he?
he did.
really?
Yeah. You're
But-
right. Dexter Lawrence had 5 quarterback hits.
Yeah, it was mad.
Only 1 sack, but still, getting to the quarterback is.
He gets an insane amount of pressures.
This Jets team would be really good with Aaron Rodgers.
God, it's,
It really
No,
would.
it would be good with an O-line and Aaron Rodgers.
but
If you bring Aaron Rodgers back, you're just getting a 39-year-old man hit by big defensive players. He's gonna go out injured again.
I think that is fair, but I think Aaron Rodgers has played behind all kinds of different O-lines, and look, we don't know what he'll come back. Will he come back? All those kind of bits. But he was
played
very
He played behind a shit O-line last year.
Yeah, that's what.
And was mid.
Yeah, he was,
As
but
the
he
kids say.
can still move around and pass on the move and stuff like that. And he's got much more game awareness than fucking Zach Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. I've like we said, didn't we, last week, that the Jets would quite feasibly be at 6-3, looking at their schedule.
Yeah, they can be.
And then if
it's-
Rodgers can get back towards the playoffs, you just don't know. We said it.
but you're right. It does make me even more disappointed that Rodgers did get that injury.
it doesn't disappoint me at all. I hate him.
I know you hate him, but
And the fact that
I
he's
just want to see what they could have been. Maybe they still can be. I
It's
don't
still,
know.
yeah. But literally, unless it's Wilson throwing to Wilson, they have nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm so sick of Rodgers appearing on Pat McAfee.
He's got nothing else to do.
Do you know he gets $1 million a year for that?
Yeah.
To go out and just spout shit. Literally, guy, fuck off.
How about we talk about Cowboys Rams?
I was about to say that's my next thing I want to bring up because the Cowboys.
There were some questions about whether Cowboys just beat shit teams. The Rams have been okay this
Yeah,
year.
and it turns out they do all right when at home.
Yeah.
They if they don't get a home draw for the playoffs, it's going to be the same as it is every year.
I mean, when you've got to play 8 games away from home, that's a problem.
It doesn't help.
CeeDee Lamb is ridiculously good as well.
Career game. Also helps that they got to Matt Stafford, and he just kept hitting his thumb against helmets.
He also went out of the game
Yeah.
injured.
He's potentially out for the next weekend as well.
Brett Rippon, baby.
Yep, because Stetson Bennett is also out at the moment. I know you guys play. I play in another fantasy league which has got 14 teams in it, and it's a 2-quarterback league. There is carnage in that league this year. It's like no one knows what to do because
So you have to play, or is it a flex? Is it a super flex, or is it 2 quarterbacks?
It's 2 quarterbacks.
Wow. Is it auction, or is it just regular snake?
Regular snake, 2 quarterbacks. Yes,
I bet at the start of the year you feel so good about yourself,
you do. Yeah,
and then after week 4 you just feel like you want to cry.
the trick.
I mean, what do you do at bye weeks?
Well, yeah, you've got to have 3 quarterbacks on your
Yeah.
team, basically.
But
But there's 14 teams.
14 teams. Yeah.
So this is the second year we've done it. My first 2 picks in the draft, quarterbacks.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. People are picking like, oh, we'll get Christian McCaffrey. Tell you what, the person who's got Christian McCaffrey only has one quarterback, and that quarterback is Zach Wilson.
Oh, my God.
Right, it's just carnage. I've now got, I'm lucky, Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence are my first 2 quarterbacks. I've got Taylor Heineke as my backup.
Well, it's fine. You might get something this week.
Yeah.
If he needs... he'll get because Lawrence is on a bye, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, yeah...
Carnage to quarterback injuries, and Matt Stafford is now the latest.
But yeah, the Cowboys are one of those weird enigmas, aren't they? Some weeks you watch them and you just think they are so good.
Yeah.
And they should be, as Griff would like to say, contenders. But
Well, they are contenders.
they will be out of that division. But when they come up against really good opposition and have to travel, they won't be.
Yeah,
But it's it's a shame sometimes. Sometimes you watch them, you go, they're just amazing.
They are.
Their
but
defense in particular.
it just equals a loss at Levis Stadium in January. So
Levis Stadium.
Oh, you're such a twat.
I love you too.
Should we talk about the Jags?
Yeah.
Because the Jags are now 6-2.
Yeah.
Won the last 5 games on a bounce.
Yeah.
I think it is.
They're third in the AFC.
Yeah, they're playing really well. The defense is playing really well.
Yeah, Josh Allen was really good.
Trevor Lawrence is playing really well.
They're going into bye now as well.
Yep.
You got a week off. Then they host the 49ers.
ETN is just fucking playing well every week, apart from in London.
Yeah.
Well, the first week in London when we watched him.
Yeah.
He did nothing, did he?
It was the Falcons who were a good defense, and they just had a very simple game plan and it didn't work. But
I think this scoreline also flatters the Steelers. The Jaguars, with a little bit extra quality, could have taken it to them.
And we got another quarterback injury.
Yep. Kenny Pickett.
Can he pick it?
Yes, he
No,
can.
he can't. And we got to see some Mitch Biscuit.
Mr. Biscuit.
And I prefer Mitch Biscuit. Rhymes better.
Mitch Biscuit doesn't work.
No, I don't care. And he came on and very quickly threw a pick.
That's what he does. He's either fine or an absolute walking disaster. And
It was a walking disaster.
yeah,
But against a very good defense, like we said, the Jaguars' defense is playing really well.
it is.
And actually, probably the Jaguars' defense kept them in this game because there was I think they had a couple of turnovers. Had to kick some field goals instead of scoring touchdowns in places where they would expect to score touchdowns. But then every time the Steelers' offense took to the field, they were off pretty quickly again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they do get a lot of takeaways. The Jags, don't they? I don't know if it's because they're playing a lot of bad teams, but they are getting a lot of takeaways.
Well, their division's not great, is it?
No, that's it. Yeah,
that division, we've seen it over the last 10 years. You've got no idea who's going to come out of the pack and have an okay season, but nobody does it for more than 2 seasons in a row before they disappear back into the pack again.
yeah.
But yeah. For Pickett and Trubisky, they're not
Exactly, yeah.
they're not helped by Deontay Johnson's back. He was more consistent than Pickens, but still makes some silly drops.
And also suggested that the league wanted the Jags to win. And the officiating was also the Jags could win. He had some mad rant, didn't he? He's probably going to get fined for.
Just
Good. Fuck off.
Excuses.
The Pickens touchdown there was very nice.
So is it going to be...
But he only one catch. But
Pickens makes great plays.
yeah.
When are we going to call it? It's going to be Tomlin's 4-3. Is Tomlin going to miss the playoffs or not?
They might miss the playoffs.
I think
They'll
they'll
still have a above 500 season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's never missed the playoffs yet, has he?
No, he's never had a losing season.
He has missed the playoffs. I think when they went
Once.
8-8.
Well, they missed the playoffs last year, didn't they?
Playoffs last year, of course.
Oh, was that the first? That might have been the first time.
Yeah, but he's never had a losing season.
Shock result of the week. Chiefs 9, Broncos 24.
Yes. I mean, so Mahomes
Not injured,
is
but
not injured, but ill. Then had stomach issues during the game. Broncos were just still efficient.
But I'll tell you what, ignore the score, and I'll read you these stats. Their box score. Russell Wilson, 12 completions from 19 attempts, 3 touchdowns, 114 yards.
Yeah. They ran it well, though.
They didn't run it that well.
They just burnt clock because they were ahead.
Javonte Williams, 27 carries, 85 yards, no touchdowns. That's 3 yards a carry. It's not great.
I mean, it's 114 yards from Wilson and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I know.
It's like efficient.
It means the defence turned the ball over in good
Defence
field
turned
position.
up, yeah.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
Because that's why you've only got 300 total yards to get fucking 30 points, isn't it? Because
Exactly.
your defence was fucking putting you at the 40-yard line.
Absolutely. The Broncos' defence turned up for a change. Taylor Swift didn't turn up, so neither did Travis Kelce.
No, and then apparently the Broncos played some Swiftie song to him, didn't they? And apparently, I'm sure it's just a joke, but someone was saying that Taylor Swift was going to sue them because she didn't give them permission to play the song.
Fuck off. I'm sure
that's bullshit, but it was a funny thing that was like going around, but yeah. It did make me laugh. But yeah, I saw some stats as well last week around kind of Travis Kelce's like yards per carry when Swift is in the stadium and all this.
Well, she's now on the European and the world tour of her eras, so she won't be there for a lot now. So
if you've got Travis Kelce in your fantasy league, it's now time to drop him then, obviously.
Yes, yeah, I'll take I'll take him off you if you want. But yeah, no, hopefully the Chiefs come back
They'll be
next
fine.
week, with a fitter.
Mahomes did look angry all game.
He didn't look right. There were I've seen a number of steals through this match where it's like there are wide open receivers who you'd fully expect him to be able to find, and he just didn't. So yeah,
It's the point. Like, if it's like that, why play him? I know he earns a lot of money, and I think he doesn't want to miss out. But
if he's not well,
don't play him. Like, what have they got from this? Nothing. Like, it's his worst ever like statistical game. It's just really bad. Like, I
think that's a fair point.
Yeah. Someone else I didn't think should have played. Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
If you've gone into the concussion protocol and come out 6 days later, I just don't think. Just don't put these guys.
And he took a nasty hit as well, didn't he? Where his head bounced off the ground. So, I think
it's the first time I've seen him throw a silly interception. Like, he's thrown like a Hollywood ball trying to force it, but he
did have some good throws.
He does
like, so it wasn't. I wouldn't say.
I was more worried about the rate the Bengals scored against us.
I was more worried about the defense, and like I said earlier, the amount of tackles we were just falling off of was just ridiculous. We couldn't seem to stop them.
Yeah.
Well, the first two drives were just touchdown, super fast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, they scored a touchdown, then we scored a touchdown. I was like, right, okay, come on then, boys, calm it down. They scored a touchdown. And I went back to watching Red Zone because I was just getting pissed off.
We do have a problem the 49ers have a problem when they are losing, trying to get back into the lead.
Shanahan's not brave, is he?
No, he's not. I can't remember what the stat is, but he's like one of the worst coaches when they're down in the fourth quarter.
That's right, yeah. He's won like one game out of like 15 or something.
Yeah. It
either works or if it don't work,
you can't change it.
No.
On the flip side, the Bengals are back.
Yeah.
It feels like the last few games that Joe Burrow's been playing, back to being Joe Burrow.
Just Bengals, mate. They did it the last 2 years, haven't they?
Yeah. It took a bit longer this year to get him back.
Pretty similar to last year, isn't it, to be fair?
I still maintain they'll be playing again later this year. Maybe next year.
Playing again? What do you mean? Oh, well, these two. Oh, right.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
I mean the Bengals. I was like, they'll be playing next week.
Next week.
No. They'll be playing each other again later this year.
It's not a bad call.
Later this season.
I don't know. Would you really say the Niners are now... Like, we were 5-0, we're now 5-3. We're going into the bye, we've added some pieces, etc., etc. We're waiting for Debo to come back and all this kind of stuff.
Debo and Trent Williams are back.
Exactly. So you got all those things, but, are you putting us right there? The Eagles are 7-1.
Yeah, but they're not impressing me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I get that. We've talked about that, haven't we? But, we've got to be a little bit respectful, of other teams that have got better records than us.
I don't mind it. I'm fine with it. I think if you go back this time last year, we're probably saying similar things about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They weren't playing brilliantly. They still had a winning record, but it's like, are they the Chiefs? Or are they just another football team that are doing quite well? I'm fine. I know I jinxed it the other week, but I'm fine with there being a loss on the cards.
Only two teams have a better points differential.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
so-
There's lots of really positive stuff, but we're now sixth in the NFC. That's
And
all.
it's not who's doing well now; it's who's doing well in January, and you generally come alive then.
Yeah.
But so did the Bengals. Let's have a look at next week, unless someone's got something else they want to bring up.
Good.
So week 9. What's wetting your whistle?
I'll tell you what's not wetting my whistle. It's the Thursday night game again.
Do you know what? I'm interested just because I want to see how if Levi's can do it again. Because
Titans at Steelers just doesn't excite me.
no, it's a pretty.
But I agree with John. Until Levi's turned up,
Yeah.
now I want to
maybe.
see.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Because as well, like even the Steelers at their worst, they have TJ Watt who does something every game that makes you remember he is an astounding player. So yeah, like if he can do a couple of them, do the Steelers get back into it?
That's fair.
Even if Levi's is good.
There are two games that do excite me though.
I-
Cowboys at Eagles
Yep.
and Bills at Bengals.
Not Dolphins Chiefs.
Dolphins Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, that one as well. I said there's two games that excite me.
Yeah.
I think there's some really interesting games. I think
That's
Seahawks
the
Ravens.
Germany game, isn't it? The Dolphins Chiefs in Germany as well.
Yeah. Remember that
Yes.
for your fantasy lineups?
Yeah.
That would be an early game.
So yeah, Seahawks Ravens.
Seahawks
Yeah.
Ravens, yep.
Could be,
Like that'll be a really good tactical game as well. So I think there's some really interesting one.
Giants Raiders.
Oh god. Colts Panthers. Oh god. There is some utter shite as well.
I mean, let's not kid. Like Sky Sports are so excited that they've counted Dallas at Eagles twice on their schedule. That's how great that game is. They'll be showing it. They'll be showing it twice. But yeah, I think that'd be. I mean, that's too.
Commanders Patriots. Oh.
That's appalling. But yeah, any early shouts for Cowboys Eagles?
I think it's the Eagles because it's
In Philadelphia. I'm going
Philly,
Eagles.
Divisional games are so hard to call though.
I'd agree with you, but I think because it's in Philadelphia, and
I'd
because
like the
Philadelphia are
Cowboys to win that.
better. So would I, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to go Cowboys.
Go on, nice.
After last week, why
Yeah.
not?
I'm still going Eagles.
Mick McCarthy,
Bastard.
Bastard.
he-
Yeah.
he'll want to back that up, won't he?
Just we didn't cover Eagles. The Eagles, AJ Brown. Is he the best
Yes.
receiver in football at the moment?
Yes.
I don't think he's an argument.
No, I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Some of the catches he's making are just phenomenal.
He's just a beast, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's an absolute beast.
Yeah,
He's quick, he's strong, fucking great hands.
yeah.
Devonta Smith's doing okay. He just puts
Yeah.
him in the shade.
Even Julio came in and scored a touchdown.
Yeah, and nobody even cared.
Yeah. Well, it was yeah.
It didn't.
Gotten win.
AJ Brown was just immense.
But AJ Brown is just
Been immense for like years as well.
Yeah,
Like,
but this year he's gone to a whole new level.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So yeah, but yeah, we will see. So hottest seat. We ask with one guy already fired. So
I think the Chargers won last week, didn't they? So I think it might be Riverboat Ron.
it's
Yeah. Given everything that's gone on there this week, I think you got to say that's a good shout.
What I know he's had a few good years. LaFleur at the Packers, they look insipid. If he didn't have a game where like one team refused to throw the football this week, you could argue that they were the worst team.
He had the two best first seasons as a coach, didn't he, or whatever combined? Yeah. The Jordan Love project is a GM project, not a fucking Matt LaFleur project. Yeah. I think the GM's in more trouble than Matt LaFleur is.
Nice. There you go. So Brian Gutekunst is the hottest seat of the week.
Well, yeah, he wasn't exactly popular before, was he?
No.
But I think they've got draft picks going into the next draft. They're probably going to draft pick high.
Yeah, it's a down year, isn't it?
No. Oh, for the Packers,
this year it's a down year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, they've had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row. They've had 30-odd years of great quarterback play.
Yeah. And being competitive for a long time, I
think that, as fans, they should, all right, accept that there is going to be a down year. Jordan Love thing isn't working.
Patriots are going through the same thing, aren't they?
I didn't believe in Jordan Love in the first place. I thought if he was any good, they would have got rid of Aaron Rodgers a year before they did. I think even most Packers fans now, I think Duncan said at the weekend when I said that to him, he was like, yep.
Yep.
So they go into next year, and but do you know what? Actually, you look at the squad. They've got good players on offense in terms of receivers. Okay, they could use some help on the offensive line. They've got good running backs. They've got a decent defense. Rashawn Gary's just been paid. He's playing really well. It could be another team where if you just get the right quarterback, you're right back in there. If they go and pick one of the top 3 quarterbacks from the draft, and he turns out to be the right fit, and he works well with LaFleur, they're back in it.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't have said LaFleur's on the hot seat.
No, I'm just...
But I also think because the rest of the team around it is decent, I think that gets Gutekunst off as well.
Possibly.
I still think the Bears...
Oh, Eberflus and Poles, it's...
I think it's hot because Fields is so outspoken about how unhappy he is as well.
Yeah.
They need to trade away Fields and pick first and second in the draft, which is feasible. Get a quarterback, get a wide receiver.
Sweetest player of the week?
It's got one of AJ Brown's
It's
catches.
the AJ Brown first catch.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Everything else
was
He
brilliant.
nearly had a second one that was almost the same.
Yeah.
He just dropped it, didn't he?
Yeah. And MVP of the week?
Will Levis.
Will Levis.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I was like, CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb was good.
CeeDee Lamb was
Good
great.
shout. And you mentioned Dexter Lawrence earlier. I think he did have a good game, unfortunately, on the Luton side. Will Levis was just
fun.
It was a great story, wasn't it?
Just like...
You could say DeAndre Hopkins,
Yeah.
So, but he was catching the ball from Will Levis, so
Yeah, but no, I think we'll give it to Will Levis. And on that note, we'll see you next week. We might start judging how, like halfway through the season.
We should do power rankings.
Power rankings
or anything.
do some judging of how seasons are going. So
judge the fuckers, eh?
Exactly.
That's
what we're there to do. We've got no training in this. Our opinion means shit. But let's do it anyway.
We'll have it, and you'll have it anyway.
Yeah.
God damn it.
In your ears. Take it. But we'll see you next week. Bye.